stage one, the second longest stage of the 2022 Tour of Britain. Away from Aberdeen to a uphill finish at Glenshee Ski Centre, over 181.3 windswept and rainy kilometres. A neutralised start then through the city centre of Aberdeen. Alex Dowsett riding his last ever race, retiring, the rider from the Israel Premier Tech team, one of two riders at the Tour of Britain about to retire after 8 days of racing. Atrocious conditions as the flag dropped at kilometre zero, but it didn't take long before a breakaway of 5 riders attacked and got up the road. It was Human Powered Health, the American team, who first sent a rider on the offensive, Stephen Bassett, and eventually he was joined by his teammate Matt Gibson. There were 2 riders from With Sun God as well, Matt Taggart from Northern Ireland and Jake Scott. They were joined by 1 rider from the Uno X team, Martin Urianstad. Through the first sprint though, Matthew Taggart from With Sun God took the maximum points, 3 points and 3 bonus seconds to make him the virtual race leader on the road. 2 teams then, the Ineos Grenadiers and Reto Hollenstein representing Israel Startup Nation, controlling the breakaway, allowing them no more than around about 3.5 minutes at this point, as they headed towards the first of 4 categorised climbs at Benahi. A battle then between Stephen Bassett and Jake Scott, last year's King of the Mountains, won by Stephen Bassett, the 27-year-old from Tennessee for the Human Powered Health team. And then a second climb, this time at Lord's Throat, a 1.6 kilometre climb. The same result as those 2 riders, duelled once again, and once again the victory went to Stephen Bassett. And then the third climb, the hardest of them all in some ways, 1.2 kilometres at 9% up Sui Hill. And this time Stephen Bassett comfortably dispensing with the threat posed by Jake Scott, who had to settle for second place at all 3 of the first categorised climbs. Just 1 more categorised climb remaining, but that would be at the finish line. 2 sprints then followed. A sprint at Afford. Once again, it was With Sun God who took things up. First with Jake Scott, and then Jake Scott leading out Matthew Taggart. Matt Gibson relegated to 3rd place. And Gibson had a scare or 2 on the descent shortly thereafter. A little wobble at first, and then on this sweeping left-hander, came completely unstuck. His teammate, Stephen Bassett, doing well to avoid riding straight into the back of him. 1 more sprint remaining at Ballata. And again, a 2-up attack from the With Sun God duo, Jake Scott, making sure that he took 2nd place as Matthew Taggart, unopposed, took the 3rd sprint. Finishing the day on 9 points in the sprints competition as the race went past Balmoral. Alex Dowsett then from the Israel Premier Tech team taking up the pace after Reto Hollenstein could do no more, and Tom Pidcock drifting in the closing kilometres right off the back of the peloton and seemingly completely out of contention. On the drag up to the line then, there was an attack from Matt Gloag from Trinity Racing, who got across to the front of the race, but with Richie Port now setting the pace, the Ineos Grenadiers brought it all back together again, setting things up seemingly for the Spanish rider Omar Fraile. And it was Magnus Sheffield, who many people thought would be sprinting, instead of Tom Pidcock, who took it up with 300 metres to go. Fraile biding his time on the wheel of the talented American. Johannesson from Uno X also in the mix, as well as Gonzalez of Movistar. Rory Townsend, the Irish national champion, as well as Sam Watson from the Great Britain team, as finally Omar Fraile came off the wheel of Magnus Sheffield. Townsend and Gonzalez almost coming to blow. Pidcock from nowhere sprinting towards the finishing line, but it was Corbin Strong, the young New Zealander from the Israel Premier Tech team, who took his first ever win and upset the apple cart. An unexpected victory for the 22-year-old track specialist, who received the congratulations of his distinguished opponent Omar Fraile, who he beat comfortably at the line. A first ever win for Corbin Strong, fully justifying the investment of energy and belief that the Israel Premier Tech team had put in their young teammate. Michael Woods among the first to congratulate him. A fine victory. Corbin Strong's margin of victory over Omar Fraile in the end, almost a full bike length. Shake of the head there from Gonzalez, finishing in the minor placings, and just a glimpse there of Tom Pidcock coming over the line in 5th place. Something of a mystery ride from Tom Pidcock, but a breakthrough performance from Corbin Strong. First time in his young professional road career, the former world's champion on the track, that he had ridden to victory, taking stage 1 of the AJ Bell Tour of Britain for 2022. 2 British riders in the top 10 of the Tour of Britain, and 3 riders in total from Uno X. Omar Fraley then beaten by Corbin Strong, who took the victory.